It's fantasy football news time. Let's get to it. We got Drake, we've got Antonio Brown news, Devin, Funchess in Green Bay. And now for one of my favorite little sneaky draft approaches in 2020. It's called the Lamar Hollywood and Ingram draft approach. Let's go. Intro. Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Take a lap. First up on the fantasy docket, Kenyan Drake inks his 1-year deal with the Cardinals that pays $8.5 million for the one season. He wanted, I believe, like $10 million a year. Pretty damn close, and I think Kenyan Drake gets himself an extension when he explodes in 2020 in this offense. The Cardinals are built to win now, and they're also built for the future. Everything revolves around Kyler Murray, Kenyan Drake, and this very spread out attack. Add DeAndre Hopkins to the mix. This is an amazing NFL team. This is an insane fantasy football franchise. The Cardinals are in it to win it. DeAndre Hopkins is going to make it almost impossible for defenses to even worry about where Kenyan Drake is on the field. Hopkins will beat anybody one-on-one. DeAndre Hopkins landing in Arizona probably helped Drake more than it helped anybody. He will be ultra efficient, and make sure you cuff him to Chase Edmonds. The duo is key. The duo is important because together they're a top 5 to 10 running back, almost lock, almost guarantee. There are no guarantees in life. There are no guarantees in fantasy football. Anybody can get hurt. 2 players can get hurt. But I feel pretty damn good about Drake and Edmonds together being your running back one, your quiet running back one. Let's say you build around wide receivers and QBs or a tight end early. I think Kenyan Drake has a top 5 to 10 fantasy football season. And to me, he's looking pretty darn good around 12 to 14 overall. I'm still paying that value even if he climbs to that range on a consistent basis, and I think you should too. Kenyan Drake, baby. You have just been Smitty approved. Next up is a little bit about Ronald Jones. Ronald who? According to several reports, the Bucs are going to potentially add a running back in free agency or through the draft. Not news to anybody, at least not news to me. I saw this and I'm like,
what news
is this? But I feel like I've got to tell people about it because I still see people drafting Ronald Jones as if he could start in 2020. And I don't know. I don't see it. Anything can happen. DeAndre Hopkins was traded for a ham sandwich. Bad O'Brien. But I'm happy about it. Take a lap. But logic tells us that the Bucs are going to draft a running back, and draft capital is not what it was for running backs in the NFL draft. Running backs in the 3 to 5 overall range could fall into the 3rd, 2nd, 4th round. That means that J.K. Dobbins could fall into the lap of the Bucs, and they could be like, look, we're going to spend a 3rd rounder on him. Yeah, take him. J.K. could go at the top of the 2nd round, but he could also fall all the way to the bottom of the 2nd or the early 3rd. We don't know. Zach Moss could fall really far to the Bucs, and I like Moss. I think Moss would be great in that offense. He could be a sneaky running back in this 2020 NFL draft class. Don't be scared to go Zach Moss late in your dynasty draft. But don't have faith in Ronald Jones in 2020. I don't see him surviving what's going to unfold with free agency in the draft, and I think there's a really, really good shot that the starting running back for the Bucs is not on the roster currently. Antonio Brown news. How could we not have any Antonio Brown news? I'm sure that the news will start kicking into gear for Antonio Brown as soon as he's allowed back outside. The reason we haven't heard about Antonio Brown is because he's actually following directions and staying inside. Antonio Brown staying inside is a good Antonio Brown. Good boy, Antonio. Why couldn't you have done this during the NFL season? But leave it to Antonio Brown to do Antonio Brown things really soon. The Bucs are not interested. Arians said that he doesn't think they have a spot or the money for him, even though many people think Tom Brady wants to toss him the rock. Maybe Tom does, but Tom Brady has Godwin and Evans and O.J. Howard, and as I mentioned above, a potentially top 4, top 5 rookie running back on the way. But don't root for Antonio Brown to land in Tampa Bay. You don't want that in general for any of those players. I think Brady's going to be fine. He has enough people to throw to. Godwin and Evans, you want them in a groove and playing at an elite level. You don't need Antonio Brown diluting the target share in Tampa Bay. Stop wanting AB in Tampa Bay. He's not going to Tampa Bay. He's not going to the 49ers. I see a lot of fake news around talking about this. Now, all of that being said, if he got dropped in any one of my dynasty leagues, I'd probably pick him back up. I'm not going to admit that on my show. Whiteside. Time to put on your big boy pants, says the Eagles. You need to step it up and make yourself known in 2020 is basically what the Eagles coaching staff has said. Is he a good player to grab in dynasty? Maybe. Are we looking for a lot of news right now? I mean, are we scraping at the bottom of the barrel when Whiteside hits the fantasy news show? Probably. But hey, deep dynasty people need love too. There you go, Whiteside. I don't know. Grab him, maybe. Devin Funchess lands in Green Bay. Pretty good news. I mean, a lot of people seem to think A-Rod's done or that A-Rod has no weapons. Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Lazard, the Lizard Man. I think he's fine. In fact, Lazard to me is a really good sleeper. I'd rather have Lazard than Whiteside right now because I think A-Rod has a lot left in the tank. He's 36 years old. He's not 42. He's 36. A-Rod could still be a top 5 to 6 QB in fantasy for 2 or 3 more years, let alone 2020. And I like the idea of picking him up in deep leagues, existing dynasty leagues, and maybe looking for him in redraft in the deepest of leagues if he starts looking good in camp, if we even have a camp. But my money's on Lazard. I like Lazard a little bit better. Anything can happen. And now for one of my favorite little sneaky draft approaches in 2020. It's called the Lamar Hollywood and Ingram draft approach. It's where you grab Lamar in the second round. Earmuffs for all you people that hate drafting a QB early. Lamar in the second round. Hollywood Brown in like round 7, if you can. And then Ingram in round 5, around that range. You're not using a first rounder. You're not using a third or a fourth on any of those players. But look how lit Lamar, Hollywood, and Ingram are all by themselves. Now you mix in a Zeke Elliott in round 1 or a Barkley or whoever. Kittle or Kelsey or Mike Evans fall to the top of the third all the time. Picture whatever player you feel will fall in your draft right there. And then an A.J. Brown in the 4th round. Lamar, Elliott, Kelsey, A.J. Brown, Ingram, and Hollywood Brown. Complete fire. I love the approach. Don't be afraid to use it in 2020. Real quick, make sure you join my Discord. It's free. It's like a chat room. It's for only my people. I talk one-on-one with you guys. And more importantly, I'm giving away spots in my next league or contest, which is happening very soon. I'm giving away multiple spots in this Discord. So go to this address, sleeperu.com, sleeperu.com/Discord. It's free. Join it, get in my Discord, and talk to me. Get easier access to me than in the comments of all my posts. I appreciate all the comments, but right here, we're building this community up, and it's going to be a solid place for you to go and get quick start bench advice from me, from the other valuable members. Get on over there quick. Join. It's completely free, and it's where you can find me a lot of the time. Get it! More news to come as the news rolls in. Get ready. And I've got a big announcement, as I said, coming up really soon. If you missed out on my last Dynasty Startup League where I did a follower league with 11 of you and me, I've got another special event cooking up. So get ready.
Subscribe, follow, like, get some, let's go.
Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.